But I want to just really hit on this point of saying like leaders are human beings, and so let's be flexible. Let's be flexible. That's the word that I really want to say because it's needed in our world today, and we need to lead with excellence for sure, and we want to do things well, but we need to have grace in there so we can lead people well. Welcome to the It Matters podcast. I'm your host, Walter Perez, and let's dive in as we help you grow your mindset and elevate your leadership. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the It Matters podcast. And I just want to say thank you again for joining me in another episode. I'm excited for what's to come. I've said before, I'm lining up some amazing guests, and we're gonna have some good conversations. But I did want to bring you another solo episode today because I wanted to chat about something that has kind of come across my radar, and I'm thinking more and more about it. In this idea of that leaders are people too. What do I mean by that? This whole concept that leaders are humans, that leaders are uh, are people that are also trying to figure things out. Why is that important? Maybe you're asking, like, Walter, why are you talking about that? Well, of course we know that. Well, this is the thing. We might know that, but sometimes we live our lives a little bit different. When we're leaders, or I see individuals in leadership roles, and they live it out like they're machines, or they live out their leadership like they're perfect, like they should never make any mistakes or have any problems. And so I just wanted to bring a conversation forward and say, hey, okay, when we pause for a moment and remind ourselves that as people, as leaders, we are human beings and we're people that are going to make mistakes, that are going to, adapt along the way, that are going to potentially change our minds. We're going to, make mistakes and learn from them. We're going to have failures. There's going to be things that happen that will require us to realize that, hey, I'm not a perfect leader. And so I wanted to chat a bit more about that because I want to encourage you all to stop and realize that. And truly, where's this belief system that you think that you need to do everything a certain way and it needs to be perfect? There can't be any mistakes, there can't be any failures. Why is that? And it's important to understand that point of view because the way we view ourselves or the way we view leadership, the way we view carrying out tasks or whatever it is the way we end up leading others. And then we end up imposing that on other people. And we think, well, you shouldn't make mistakes because I have, a standard that, it has to look a certain way. And we don't leave enough space, enough room for grace, and we end up saying to people like, no, like there's only one way to do it, and I expect perfection, or I only expect it a certain way or else it's no good. Can I tell you that that's just not a reality, and that is not a good way to lead at all? In fact, I would propose that that is entering into a toxic way of leading, and it's not a good way of leading. And so I want us to really think about that because this is the reality. When we're dealing with people, things are going to be unique. Things are going to be different. Everybody has a different personality. Everybody has different characteristics, different weaknesses, different strengths. And so when we are leading in that capacity, we realize that other people are different, but we need to realize that we're different and that we need to have grace on ourselves that, hey, I'm allowed to learn along the way. I'm allowed to figure things out. That I don't actually need to have the end result or the final picture figured out. I can adjust and tweak things because I'm a leader that's always learning. I'm a leader that's always practicing and applying. And that's part of the journey of being a human being, that we get to grow, and we're not going to be the same person we were 10 years ago, and hopefully we will choose not to stay stagnant. In fact, you've heard me say before, I don't believe there's any such thing as being stagnant. We actually either grow or we move backwards. We either grow or decay. We either grow or we die. And so it's important to realize and understand that way of leading and make sure that we're applying that, because relationships can be tough. Leading people is challenging. Leadership, in my opinion, is the study of people and the study of human behavior. So there's always going to be new things that we're going to learn, and there's different seasons and different circumstances and all of that. And so when we realize that, hey, I'm learning how to do relationships. I'm learning how to talk to different people, not even just ages, but even different ethnicity groups, or even different cultural, different uh, uh, way of thinking, different uh, things that they've learned from their parents, or different belief systems. There's so much to this that we need to learn to adapt and realize, okay, people are going to be unique, and I'm unique as well. And so if we can, if we can realize and have grace not only on ourselves but on other people, then we lead with grace, and we lead with hope, and we realize and give ourselves permission that, hey, I'm going to have insecurities. I'm going to have insecurities along the way. I'm going to make those mistakes, or I'm going to need to adjust and realize that connection is going to be important. That when we enter into leadership and we enter into community, that it can get messy. Yes, there's going to be wins. There's going to be good things that happen out of that. But leadership is not about perfectionism. Leadership is not robotic. There's something. There's an element of emotion. There's an element of connection. There's so much to it that allows leadership to excel and really be highlighted. And that's what's unique about human beings, that we get to learn to adapt and lead everybody different. Maybe there is principles that everybody shares, but there's different methodologies. I love there's this quote that says uh, uh, principles never change, and methods do. That kind of idea, like methods do um, uh, uh, get to we adjust and we change depending on the arena we're applying it to, but principles are more like core values. These core values are more like, we want to always treat people with care. We want to be kind. We want to love on people. We want to serve people. We want to be able to treat people well. We want to lead them all. Like, those are core values that we should be able to stand on. But methodologies, they'll look a little bit different. There's different ways of doing many things. But I want to just really hit on this point of saying, like, leaders are human beings, and so let's be flexible. Let's be flexible. That's the word that I really want to say, because it's needed in our world today, and we need to lead with excellence for sure, and we want to do things well, but we need to have grace in there so we can lead people well, and we need to be patient. We need to have patience with people, because maybe pause for a moment. I'll share about me. Like, I can think of times in my life where I am glad that I had coaches, mentors, bosses, leaders above me that were patient with me, because they were understanding that I was figuring it out. I was learning. And instead of picking me apart, instead of critiquing me, they added value to me, and they showed me how to do it better. They guided me, they directed me, because I wasn't perfect, and I still am not, and I'm going to make more mistakes along the way, and it's just part of the deal. We all know it in whatever capacity that we lead, whether we're leading in nonprofit, whether we're leading in business, whether we're leading in a sports team, whether we're leading in our household, and even to the next level, even when we're leading ourselves. I mean, how many times do we say we're going to do certain things, and we have great intentions, and we don't follow through? So we need to just pause for a moment and figure out routines or rhythms in our lives that are going to make us better, and be intentional about what we're doing and what we're working on. So we do, learn, and we do grow. But at the same time, we're not seeking for perfection. It ain't going to happen. It's not part of our DNA to be a perfectionist. We might believe that we can be, but we're not going to execute it that way. It's just not true. And so I wanted to talk about this today because I want to encourage all of you to remember that. And I know that it's such a simple maybe topic, like a duh. Of course, we know that, but we really need to be remembered because our actions don't always match our words or our thinking. And so have grace on yourself. I think you're doing a great job. I think that leadership is tough. Leadership is challenging. Leadership at its best is working in the mess. It's working in the challenges, in the storm. So things are never going to look pretty. They're gonna look rough at times. But we need to be people and leaders that bring hope to a situation and bring vision and believe in people, and just like the others believe in us, we need to believe in ourselves, and we need to not count ourselves out and realize that, hey, in this season, you can do this. In this season, you've been called and you've been designed and assigned to certain tasks to work in this scenario. And you know what? If change needs to happen, then change needs to happen. But allow yourselves to grow and learn through them. That's really the message that I wanted to give today. I want you to remember that as leaders, we're all people, and if we have grace on ourselves, then we'll also have grace on others, not just people that are working under us that we're responsible for, but also individuals that we are responsible to. That we need to have grace on them too. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to maybe make create challenges for us sometimes, and we just need to extend that grace, and we need to be able to work together and figure out how we can collaborate so we can make it a better scenario, a better situation. I hope this adds value to you. It's a short and sweet to the point, but think on that, okay? Think on that, and see how you can tweak and pause and say, okay, I'm gonna change this and be better. I hope this adds value to you. Please add a comment, share it, pass it on to somebody that needs to hear this. We're trying to lead better, and sometimes we will have longer podcast episodes. Sometimes we just need to have a quick chat, a quick talk to say, hey, let's just make sure we don't forget this. And that's what I wanted to do today. Think on this, and I know that on this journey of what we're trying to do, and make everybody better and help everybody lead better, it's going to be a win-win when the leader leads well, and that's what we're all about. Talk to you later.